Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to do our 2020 Democrat primary prediction for the first four states, looking at analysis and predicting each way that the four states are going to go. But before we get started, please like the video down below and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. We are only 500 subscribers away from beating AOC, so please subscribe to the channel before we get started. But alright guys, now let's get started. Looking at the betting odds for the 2020 Democrat nomination, Joe Biden is in green, Warren is in brown, Bernie Sanders is in light blue, Buttigieg is in purple in this graph here, and then Michael Bloomberg, who has spent so much money buying his way to 5%, sits in the teal. So before we get started here predicting states, I think it's good to take a look at the betting odds. Joe Biden was not the favorite when Warren peaked in the polls. She was actually 50% chance to get the nomination. Those fortunes have drastically reversed, and even to a point where Pete Buttigieg was once second to get the nomination, just below Biden. But Buttigieg and Warren have both fallen off a little bit, and now it looks like that Joe Biden is the favorite, but not by a long shot, and that Bernie Sanders, who is down to 6% after his heart attack, has bounced up to roughly 26% as well. I don't believe he'll get the nomination because of the DNC standing in his way. That doesn't mean he can't win the first four states, or at least some of the first four states, because he's leapfrogging the polls. So I think it's good to start with Iowa. Iowa's a very rural state. It has Sanders and Buttigieg up front, Biden and Warren trail behind. Now, guys, keep note that you need 15% of the vote in order to get a delegate. Otherwise, you're below the 15% threshold. You can't get a delegate. So I do think that Joe Biden is not going to win Iowa. I don't think he'll win New Hampshire. I'll show you what will happen. I do think Bernie Sanders is going to build on that momentum similar to what he had last time, and he's going to do well enough to win Iowa. Now, percentage doesn't necessarily mean percentage of the vote. It means percentage of delegates, but he will win the state. He'll get the most delegates. I do expect Buttigieg to come in second place. I do believe that Warren will probably get around, you know, a good 19% of the delegates, and I do think Biden will get let's say he'll get roughly 21% and maybe give the rest to Bernie. Therefore, we have Bernie Sanders declared the winner of Iowa. It's looking like me and Political Forecast are coming to agree on one thing, is Bernie is rising for the first four states, but I don't think that Bernie is going to win the nomination. But he's got a chance early on, and maybe he could build on it, but the DNC is not going to let that happen. As for New Hampshire, Bernie won it last time. He's not going to get the percentage of the vote he got last time, but he will definitely win it again, possibly decisively, as Warren, not even at 15% in the polls, does not break 15. Buttigieg, in my opinion, will barely break 15, and the rest of the vote, I believe, will go to Biden here. So Bernie has won a state. He's won the New Hampshire primary. That's good news for him, because now you move across the board here. You're going to have to move down to, I believe, Nevada comes before South Carolina. So let's fill out the Nevada thing here. People are saying that maybe Biden would do the best because he has the minority voter support. Well, he'll get the black vote for sure, but last time Sanders won the Latino demographic in Nevada. Wasn't the case in places like Texas, especially not the case in places like Florida. But in Nevada, it was Bernie's strong point there. He actually won the Hispanic vote, did better with Hispanics in Nevada than whites. Now, I do think Bernie is going to narrowly pull it off because Warren and Buttigieg are going to go completely off the deep end and not even get enough delegates to get... Actually, you know what? Never mind. Warren will actually get enough, but barely. And now Bernie's going to win the state of Nevada. Not by much, but he'll win it. So now Bernie has won the first three states. This is a lot different than last time around. Does this mean he's got a chance at South Carolina? Warren's campaign has gone down the tube. She's probably not getting 15% of the vote. Sanders is probably not going to win the state, but Biden won't necessarily do as good as Hillary will in the delegate count. I think it would be split something like 63-37, 64-36 as we have it here. And that is what I think will happen. Biden will still do well enough in South Carolina to put him over Sanders in the delegate count for the time being. Now, Super Tuesday is going to be a lot different. You bring in states like California, you bring in states like Texas. I think Florida is not too far after that, Michigan. which at this point I think it's probably going to go to Biden, but I don't think it's going to go to him by some astronomical margin. And Democrats are just very, very disillusioned with the party. You have more people jumping in. You have Michael Bloomberg jumping in. You've got a whole bunch of other people that are jumping in. You got Deval Patrick that jumped in. The party is a mess, and you finally see that they had a decent amount of people drop out. Possibly Cory Booker will drop out before the primaries because God knows he's not going to go anywhere. And hopefully Michael Bennet will drop out because I don't even know why he's still in the race. See, the guy basically committed political suicide when he called for a 6-day school week. But on top of that, it's like the guy's just looking for attention. He shouldn't be running in the first place. I think a lot of people know that, but it is what it is. The Democrat Party has basically become a disillusioned joke. Both Biden and Sanders have a net unfavorable rating. Biden is -4, Sanders is -6, and both of them have a lower favorable rating than Donald Trump, according to recent RCP polls. So that's definitely not a good thing for Biden or Sanders. They're not able to have a favorable rating above what they need. Sanders will do well based off of the anger amongst the primary voters that he could pick off Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada, but he's not winning even, 40% of the vote like he got last time in Iowa. He might win 27, and it's going to be enough because the field is so divided and fractured. And by the way, after this, it's really hard to see Bernie keep up with Biden. Biden will probably be the nominee at the end of the convention based off of delegates alone. It's possible the convention is contested, but I do expect Bernie Sanders to drop out there. It's just impossible at this point for it to happen. Warren and Buttigieg are basically irrelevant as well, and everybody else in the race like Yang, Gabbard, who's putting all her eggs in one basket in New Hampshire. Bloomberg, it'll be interesting to see what happens when he comes in the race, but they hate the billionaires. And it's Bernie Sanders, who ironically is a millionaire, is going to put up enough pushback against Bloomberg because Bloomberg is this supposed billionaire guy who's supposed to be like the phantom of the party when you would look at it under nominal terms. However, they're going to like him no matter what based on the fact that he's not Trump and he has a D next to his name and potentially could win, but he's not going to get the nomination either. You've got Warren, Buttigieg. The list goes on and on of candidates that are just totally incompetent and probably won't be able to get much done if they were elected. Really thanks to Mitch McConnell, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. He basically, which I'm not a fan of Mitch McConnell, but he'll definitely be one of the only glues that are holding the country together in that case in terms of holding it from the collapse. All the policies, you talk about Trump ruining the national debt, which is not something that should be ignored even among conservatives. Imagine what Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Warren will do to the debt. Biden won't do much damage. Biden won't do anything at all. The economy will probably tank faster under Biden if he repeals certain things like the tax cuts, and he'll be a one-term president, might not even run again for a second term, and that's potentially political suicide. The problem with Biden in a general election is he will not energize voters. I've seen these videos from LTE talking about why Biden will beat Trump, why Bernie will beat Trump, and has the map out there. I'm sorry to break it to you, that's just not the case. Biden's not going to be able to energize anybody. Bernie's not going to be able to energize the actual voters, not young, edgy people that are, below the age of 20 on Reddit. Yeah, they'll come out to vote for Bernie, but they can't vote. They won't vote. They're too lazy. That's not going to happen. There's just not enough support among the Bernie fans to do it. So I do not think that Bernie Sanders is going to be able to win a general election against Trump. Biden won't either. Biden has a very low floor. If you look at all of Biden's remarks and you look at everything they hit Trump for, you can hit Biden for him twice as bad. Same thing for Hillary Clinton. That's why Donald Trump was able to beat Hillary. And Bernie Sanders is just, he didn't even have a job until he was 40. He's old. He's very incompetent in terms of getting anything done. He acts like he's toting these new ideas. He's been in office for years and years, hasn't really put forth any energy towards accomplishing his goals. Now he wants to be president of the United States. That's not how it works. And he's being engulfed by his own party. Some of the own wing of his own party in which he's created is calling him far right because he does not want to abolish ICE. That's completely and totally ridiculous. Bernie Sanders had potential last time around, believe it or not, to run an anti-elite campaign. If it was Jeb Bush versus Bernie Sanders very well could have beaten Jeb Bush. However, that just wasn't the case. Trump won. Trump would have narrowly beaten Bernie in 2016. It's 2020. Trump's going to be able to go out there and beat Bernie Sanders handily, beat Biden handily. Doesn't really matter who the Democrat nominee is. His approval rating's higher than theirs. They always say, oh, his approval's low. Okay, well, his approval rating is 45.2. That's going to be enough to win against somebody whose approval rating's 42, 43. He might actually win the popular vote at that point. You never know. But I digress. Thanks everybody for watching this video. Please comment down below. Please give the video a like, and please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so we can beat AOC. Join the Discord, donate to the Patreon, follow me on social media, links in description. Thanks for watching, guys. Red Eagle, out.